أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Let's recite a Fatiha for the marhumin, your marhumin and the marhumin of Zafar. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We need the people to sponsor the programs. So if you can please find the sponsor list and sign up, that would be great. Jazakallah. And now I'd like to invite Maulana to begin the majlis. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. May Allah inshallah accept our amal, our dua, our aza inshallah for Sayyid al-Shuhada, and reward us inshallah in the rest of this month of Adha, month of Safar, and let us be with Ahlul Bayt in dunya wal akhirah. Recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على
محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. A very interesting questions I would like to ask you. a kind of equation, let's make it informal, that the life of human beings compared to, let's say, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, we definitely have a more comfortable life. That's for sure. We have a lot of devices, gadgets, machines, tools around us can help us to have an easier life in terms of the physical perspective. Imagine before they wanted to have a drinking water, they had to go all the way to the spring to bring water to the house. They wanted to take a shower, they had to go to certain places. Some people didn't. They wanted to make bread, they had to start from the beginning, to harvest it and then grab it and then make the flour and everything else from the beginning, right? Nowadays, in our lives, everything is around us. With a click, we can get a lot of things. In the kitchen, we have a lot of things. In the living room, everything, the TV. Interesting that if the Pharaoh, he knew that, for example, they had a lot of people to make him feel cooler, for example, in the summer, that he can one day, for example, years and years after that, with the click of a button, he can turn on the AC. We'll have the best weather and then the temperature. He would think we are the kings, not him, right? If Qarun, he knew that he had multiple people to carry the keys towards his treasures, right? If he knew that we have a bank account without carrying all the keys, it would say you're the kings, right? Well, the kings had to do a lot of things to eat. We have everything with a click of a button. We have everything, or purchase everything. They had to wish something to bring to us. Now we order in a second. Nowadays, the Prime would bring it within a day. The life is more comfortable. It's easier in terms of these tools, right? However, the question is that, or the life is more peaceful or not compared to the past. What we see today is that human beings are in a lot of anxieties, tension. They're not calm, they're not relaxed. You see, the world is in tension. The rate of suicide, the rate of anxiety, the rates of depressions, and everything is to the roof. So if these gadgets and tools and everything were supposed to bring, what we're supposed to bring is the comfort in life or the peace in life as well. Yes, our ancestors, our grandfathers, they had to go make everything by hands to be able to cook, but they have more peaceful life compared to us today in this life. At that time, there were less social crisis sometimes compared to today. So we see that the question here is this. Although human beings become so progress and modern and a lot of technology and everything around, this is the era of technology and internet, but why the peace is not there? Some countries, for example, Switzerland or other countries, right? They're very progress. They're very rich. People have a lot of social, benefits, but the rates of suicide, the rates of anxiety, the rates of depression is higher in those society compared to other societies. The reason we ask this question because the world is going towards more of this dunya and more comfortable life, right? Today we have the iPhone, we have the Samsung, so and so. Next generation is coming to make it way easier because this one, for example, the next generation is few seconds faster than this. How about that? Right? Something like that. The next generation, the camera has a better pixel and more quality. It's just in that type of thing, right? It's not just a dramatic change like the simple phone, regular phone to the smartphone. It's just going towards more quality, right? Or anything that is happening around us is towards that. The whole direction of the world is going to make this life more comfortable for yourself. What else? What kind of gadgets and tools we can invent for you to have a better life? Are these things supposed to bring peace, or we're going to more towards lack of peace in life? Indeed, peace is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for us. And we need to have the peace in life in order to what? To be successful in all aspects of life. Let me ask you a question. Most professional artists would not be able to draw something while he's riding a horse or on a motorcycle or even in a car. Why? Because you need to be calm, relaxed, quiet, to be able to focus to make that masterpiece. You all agree? Yeah? A most professional surgeon would not be able to do the surgery once his mind or her mind is so busy with a lot of problems and anxieties. No, you cannot. You make a mistake. You can't do that. We need peace to be able to do that, including parents, including us, students, doesn't matter. You might be a student, go to the class, your mind is so busy with anxiety and this issue, you won't even listen. You can't even listen to what the teachers are saying, right? You'll be completely zoned out of the everything. Therefore, what can we do to bring that peace into us? Here's what I want to discuss. A lot of us, a lot of people in the world, the majority, would try to fix the environment around them to bring peace into their lives. They would try to fix the external factors to bring the peace. When there's an issue in the marriage, we'll get divorced. We already have peace. When you have issue with parents, or there's something else, so it's their fault, so they have to do something, so you have the peace. If there's no enough financial help or money in the house, so the problem is that when the money comes, then you'll have the peace. If you have issue with someone, it's them. It's always external factors, right? Then the question is that all those people, the external factors are all there and set. Why they still have issue in peace and tranquility in life? Example that I always say, like says those rich people and celebrities and all that, then why they commit suicide? Then why they don't have the peace that they need to have in life? Huh? Why they have to take pills to be able to sleep at night? So a lot of people are investing on external factors, not knowing that the peace will come internally, not externally. The peace is an ability and a skill that you need to produce within inside to bring it out. The athlete, before they go to the match or to whatever they have, contest, they'll have relaxation. They'll sit down. The coach will tell them, they have psychologists sometimes with them in a high rank. So just sit down, relax, calm down. Specifically in martial arts, they do a lot, right? You need to calm down. You need to relax. You need to focus. Then go on the mat. Why? Because without that, your mind, there's a match. The coach says, hey, focus. Put your thought together. Hey, I'm doing physical things. For example, I'm wrestling. Why do I? No. Your mind is important. Your mind would order you what to do and how to defend yourself, right? So a lot of things is not external, internal, that I look at my internal inside and try to see what can I do to produce more internal peace. But a lot of people, external are good, internally they are in anxiety. Opposite, a lot of people, external factors are very, very in trouble, but internally they're in peace. They're in a huge peace. They're calm. So the first example comes to your mind is who? Imam Hussein. The world is in trouble in Qatl God, in the day of Ashura, right? But he's calm and relaxed. Still, the musibah is so high, he sees that. But it doesn't hurt him and hurt his internal peace that he needs to have. We have two factors in front of us. Do you want to take this or you want to take that? Do you want to be successful this way or you want to take that way? It's very important, right? Of course, I want to go towards the life that is more peaceful and more successful. Imam Hussein is Imam Hussein, of course. Let me give you some other examples. Mirza Jawad Aghai Maliki Tabrizi. He's the Ustad of Imam Khomeini and many of the monarchs. Ustad of Imam. Some of the scholars says it was a day of Eid al-Qadir. We went to his house. We were sitting, he prepared food for us and everything. We're supposed to have the food. But we're sitting, greeting, and people were coming and going. All of a sudden, we heard a voice of shouting and crying out loud from the inside of the house, the women. We knew something horrible happened, something very bad happened. All went inside. It took him some time, and he came out and he sat down. We knew something very bad happened, but he sat down and he was just, okay, let's continue. our program, our just gathering. So what happened is that the grandson of Ayatollah, he at that time they didn't have the water like from to come inside the house. They had some, we call it ab and bar. They had some basement that they were gathering water over there. It's like a pool, so they were grabbing water from there and then for whatever they wanted. It's like, and the water was cold because it was on the ground. So apparently his grandson, he was 3-year-old something, he went inside and he fell down into the water and he was he was dead. And the woman, they found him and of course crying and everything, and he calmed them down. The woman says, all right, we were supposed to take care of these kids, we're supposed to pay attention, we didn't. For whatever reason that happened, do not destroy the Eid of people. He went inside. That was what happened inside. He came to the majlis, right? He started talking to people and everything. So he won't destroy the Eid of people. When it comes to Eid, the audience says, we knew something is wrong. We couldn't look at the face of Allah because we know something is wrong. We were feeling shy to look at him because we knew something happened, right? But he was just like, let's continue. When they brought the food and ate and everything, when everybody left, few of his close students, he was there. It's like, brothers, that's what happened. Let's just go and help me to take care of this kid, to bury him. Why are you so calm? He knows that first and foremost, we were supposed to take care of him. We didn't do it for whatever reason, right? He knows that this world, everything happens for a reason. Now that happened, there should have been reason that this happened. Us just being so in anxiety, nothing is not going to bring the kids back. He's so trusted in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decision that he doesn't want to destroy the Eid of people, so let's continue. He's sad, he's crying. Not that he's happy that it happens, but that doesn't destroy him internally. That horrible things have happened, right? And then he said that I didn't want to, for each kids, there are multiple angels who protect them. Angels guardian for each kid. Sometimes you can't even imagine that the kids will be safe because the angels are protecting, not mom and dad necessarily. Sometimes they do some crazy things that they should be dead. They fall down from somebody. The angels will protect. We have ahadith. The angels will protect the kids. Imagine all these angels and everything was over. The kids were supposed to be. This happened to kids. There is a reason. There's a hikmah, right? So we think about it. We see that how calm they are. External factors is in trouble, but internally they're in peace. You see the fact? So I want you to look at yourself now. Look at your heart, right? So the heart is that, do you feel internal peace, internal tranquility inside you? Despite the external factors, despite what is happening around us. Or you feel that you're waiting for external factors. No, if I have this and that and the car and enough money and this business, I think everything is going to be. Then I'm not going to have trouble. I'm going to be in peace. Then why those who have all these things, they couldn't buy peace and tranquility with these things? See the point? The ziyarat of Awwal al-Rajab, the beginning of Rajab of Imam Hussein he says, the angels were shouting and crying at the day of Ashura for the musibah that happens. We're complaining to Allah, are you going to let this happen? They killed the best of your human beings and servants in front of you, and you're going to let that happen without taking their revenge from the enemies? They were literally telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angels. Tradition says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them the world and showed them specifically the Imam of Asr, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah says, بِهَذَا أَنْتَقِمُ مِنْهُ. With him, Imam, the 12th Imam, I will take the revenge from them. The world is in trouble. By the way, in parentheses, I want your mind to start working. With him, I'll take the revenge. What do you mean? From the time of Imam Hussein to the time of Imam Mahdi, when he comes back, it's 1,000 and 1,000 years, right? Inshallah, not 1,000 and 1,000. It's already 1,000, right? Inshallah, it's going to be there. It's over, right? At least it's 1,000, more than 1,000 years. How come Imam is going to come take a revenge from the enemies of Imam Hussein? Mukhtar already took the revenge from them. This is the Imam Ma'sum is saying, Imam Baqir, how Imam Mahdi is going to take the revenge. Remember this thing you're saying is a culture of Umayyad that will run through the history, right? Anyhow, so the question that we have is this, that let's not, are we waiting for external factors to be prepared everything for us to have peace? No, peace is within. Sometimes you see that someone who is so rich cannot sleep at night because of all these anxieties. Another one is poor, but at night put his head down, Ya Allah, without a second fall asleep. This guy who has everything, he has everything and work for the sake of purchasing that peace in life, by the way. My question is this, you are, let's say you're sitting in the most expensive car and you drive the most expensive car, right? What is the most expensive car? What is the name? Ferrari, right? Ferrari, what is it? MashaAllah, right? Yes, of course. Yeah. You buy the most expensive car that everybody just want to take a picture of it, right? But internally you're inside. Would you enjoy it? You live in the biggest and the most expensive house in the most expensive part of the world, but internally you're inside. Would you enjoy it? Wouldn't you pay and spend everything you have for sake of purchasing the peace? You would say, brother, take half of this, all of this, give me the peace. Huh? You want that peace to come. So where can we get that peace? How can we bring that peace? The enemies of Imam Hussein, Umar al-Sa'd, Ibn Ziyad, Yazid al-Mal'un himself, you know, right after the Waqa Karbala, they didn't have peace in life. Opposite. Most of the enemies, because of Mukhtar, who was running after them to kill them, they didn't have days and nights because Mukhtar was going to kill them. And he did finally capture them. Grabbed them brutally, killed them, right? And the others didn't have any life. 2 years after that, Yazid is perished and everything happens, right? Therefore, here's the point we're going to get. The point is that let's work on the internal factors. What can we do and how can we do to bring that internal peace into life, not waiting for the external factors? Look at the internal factors that internally we can bring the peace, no matter where we are and who we are. Imam Qasim alayhi salatu wassalam, Hazrat Yusuf, Nabi Yusuf, these people and many others, they were in prison years and years of their life, right? In prison, not fair, unjustly, but it didn't affect their peace. Yusuf, he went to the prison, he changed the threats to an opportunity. All the prisoners you heard about this or you saw the movie, the series, right? He changed all these criminals to the believers, muwahhideen, that later on they helped him. He goes to the prison with the criminals, he helped them to become muwahhid and later on his supporters. A man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, a person who believes in Allah would find the opportunities no matter where they are. How can we bring that calmness and peace in life? If I want you just for a second right now, bring the list of stressors and anxieties that you have. Bring it, close your eyes and think about it. What are your anxieties? All of us, we have certain things, right? Concerns, anxieties, stressors that you have in life. List them, prioritize them. Number one is what? Number two is what? Number three is what? All right, so what are the factors? What are your strategies to take care of? Is it about the future? About children? Is it financial? Is it about is one of these things, right? Is it health-wise? Something like that, right? We look about these things, we see that, okay, so what are the strategies and what can we do? Have you so far looked at the external factors? Have you looked at this? Okay, so I need to do that external. Okay, very good. We need to do it sometimes, right? But have you thought about internally, what can I do to expand my capacity, to be able to observe and absorb actually more of this situation without being in trouble and panic. When you go to psychologists, the psychotherapists, the most important thing they do, they try to convince you need to bring peace internally, not necessarily because they don't have control over you. You might not have, here's the most important thing I want to say. You might not be able to change external factors, right? Because something is out of your control, but you're able to control and change the internal factors. So what are these internal factors? And how can I bring it? Let's go to examples. So there's role models that we mentioned, right? For example, Imam Hussein, the story is something that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants to tell Anbiya, when they have difficulties, problems in life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look at the story of Hussein. They remember the story of Imam Hussein, even before the Kaaba, even Anbiya before, right? They remember Imam Hussein. They're like, okay, if this is the musibat, if it's the bala that happened to Hussein, not ours is nothing. We shouldn't complain. They look at the life of Imam Hussein, what happened, that big test, they regulate their emotions. So look at Imam Hussein and this people and this culture. We said Imam Hussein is on top, the culture, right? Like, Maliki Tabrizi and others, right? There's ulama that we're saying. Many of these examples we have. What makes them to have this peace and life? Are there external factors, dunya, or something else? On top of the list, what you can find is how much they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the role of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember the example of nothing but beauty, the lecture that we had? The Sayyidina Zainab sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said nothing but beauty. Because what? Because we did what He wanted us to do. The belief system, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want you to picture it for a second. The more you believe in Allah, it might be so hard to say, my daily life, what do you mean by Allah? The more you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that His role in this world, that nothing happened without His permission in this dunya, the more you believe in Him, the more you'll be in tranquility and peace. All these examples. They're throwing Ibrahim to the fire. The fire is so big, it's a mountain. They brought a lot of woods and whatever they had to make the fire. People were doing nazar to bring wood to burn Ibrahim. We have in the history. The women would do nazar. Let's bring the food so Allah, whatever God they believe in, right? So He would, not Allah, whatever they believe in. So the boats and the idols would help us, have our hajat. They make so big the hill of the woods set on fire, they can't get close to it to throw Ibrahim. They had to use the catapult to throw him, right? Because of the heat. Imagine if you're there. Oh, don't you see that? You do something. Look at that. Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? Look at this. Right? We'll be so in rush and our, mashallah, attention span is so short, right? What else? I'm your prophet. Why don't you help me? What else? Do you want me to be dead and then you want to help me? This is the time to help me, right? It's not a joke. You're going to be ashes in a second. But these jokes are the reality. This is the reality. All Abrahamic religions, they believe in this, right? They throw him to the fire. Look at how much Allah is testing him. Allah is waiting and waiting. And Allah could do, you know what? All of a sudden, before he goes to the fire, all of a sudden, a rain comes and a storm comes, the fire is over. Before they throw him, Allah will do something that everybody die, for example. And no, Allah is going to test Ibrahim at the same time and show His best miracle that is so odd that a fire becomes what? Well, a stunning garden. That's a big test for Ibrahim. Don't panic. No panic. Remember that I said that Jibreel comes and says, do you need help when he's in the air? Do you need help? I need help from you? No, from Allah. Then he is in the fire, then the mu'jiza happens. You should be in panic. Brothers, for example, let's talk. Let's sit down and talk. Why you want to throw me to the fire? Let's kill me in a different way, right? He doesn't talk. He doesn't bark in.
Why he's so calm and in peace? I know his name. علمه بحالي حسبي عن سؤالي. علمه بحالي. I know he knows my condition, so I don't need to ask anything. He would help me through it. This story of Ibrahim with his Ismail and everything else, right? Internal calm. Where it comes, number one, believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Iman. The Iman is number one that is calming down and helping these people. Your Quran is saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين. He is the one who will send أنزل, who will send down the peace in the qulub and the hearts of believers. Sakina comes from sukun. One of the name of house is maskan. Maskan means what? Mahalla sukunat. Sukunat means what? Sakina means peace. The place, house should be a place for peace. Although unfortunately sometimes it's a battle zone and war, right? It should be that you can wait from outside to go home to have peace and tranquility. This is what Allah says. I want your house to be mahal of peace, not the war zone, right? This yells at that one, that yells at this one. You be quiet. No, I can't study. I'm studying. Give me, the headphones so I cannot hear you. وَالَّذِي أَنزَلَ السَّكِينَةَ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah would send sakina to the heart of believers. Do you want to purchase peace by dunya? Yes, somehow meditation, blah, 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 here and there, go here and there. We'll get something, right? Or you want ultimate peace that comes from the creator of the peace. Which one? The Iman. What helped Imam Hussein والسلام, is the Iman of Imam Hussein towards Allah. Period. Imam Hussein is abd of Allah. He's in test. It's a test for Imam Hussein. Allah is testing him. The same way he tests Ibrahim and Musa and Isa, everybody, right? Musa, he brings his community with him. Thousands and thousands of them. Pharaoh is right behind them. Imagine, for example, a Maulana. Not a good example. The threat is coming. He brings all the community. Let's go. I know a way. Let's go, right? And they all the way, you forward come with Maulana, all the way you get to the water, and Pharaoh is right behind you. When Pharaoh is right behind him, is what is behind you? Death is behind you. Punishment, execution is behind you, right? And then you look at Maulana, what's that? You're going to help us like this? They started saying, is this your God is going to help us? That's it. We're done. Allah knows how many started, talking bad about Musa at that time. Look, it didn't happen right away when they came, right? How much you start talking bad about Musa? Look at this. Oh my God, you're the Prophet of Allah. Why you did? What is this, right? So Allah went and says, I know Allah would help. This is the meaning of tawakkul. Allah will not leave me alone. Allah is with me. Inna ma'i ya Rabbi. Allah is with me. What do you mean Allah is with you? He doesn't know what's going to happen, Musa. He doesn't know about this Moses. He's just right there. So tawakkul, so much tawakkul on Allah. I know He's going to do something. He is with me. Look at tawakkul. Tawakkul means you don't know the asbab. You don't know the way. You don't know how it's going to be that you're going to find a way out of it. But Allah knows. You just know you have Him. That's it. I don't know what happens sometimes worldly. You might have someone that you trust a lot. That I don't know what, but I just trust him. I want to go. It's so much he trusts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, I know how, but He's going to help me. And Allah shows him. And in our life, He shows miracles every day. Sometimes we don't pay attention. One, Iman of Musa, Isa, Ahlul Bayt. Believe in Allah. When we pray, let's not just pray. Let's practice to believe more in Allah. I'm going to give a very bad example. How about that? Very, very bad example. But I need to, so your mind would work better to understand. Imagine they bring the richest person on the planet. Who's the richest person? Jeff Bezos? Elon Musk, whatever. And then they bring it. Okay? So imagine we want to, don't fight over this, it doesn't matter. So imagine they bring him, right? And it says, yeah, we're going to purchase a land. I don't know, a few $100,000, we can buy it or not. What kind of discussions? It's an insult to him. People look at you and says, it's just out of mind. This money is nothing for him, right? You can buy everything you want. Every minute, $100-something thousand will be added into his income. Every minute, that they count it like this. Every minute we're sitting here, let's say 500,000, $1 million will be added into their income. What do you mean if they can? Of course you can. And then you're the friend of him and you're questioning if you can. This is a very wrong ideology. And then look at him. But he's not going to be richer than Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh was so rich that he claimed he's God. No one can reach to that level. None of these richest people, they don't claim that they're God, right? They don't have that much power. He had so much power, you can't even imagine. So much money and power that he says, your life is in my hand. I'm the God. But what happened? And then I tell you, no, you have a friend, you have a creator that he's with you right there. Every single time and moment, the entire universe belongs to him. If you want something to happen, you just say kun fayakun, be and it will be. And you have appointment with him every single day, 5 times at least. Any time and moment you want to call him, call him. His number is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, right? Call him. 768. You still be panicked. Do you think that's gonna happen? Hey, you're the friends of this richest person. You don't get panic. You're the friends of the most knowledgeable, the richest, the kindest, the everything, right? Never rejects your request unless it's bad for you. So what else? Iman. We just pray. Let's practice the Iman. Let's practice that I am talking to the one who everything belongs to him. Yes, if you have that friend that is the richest person and you keep calling him every day, you take it for granted. It's not that important for you. So what? I'm calling my friend. So someone says, oh yeah, look at, I have his number. You want me to call him right now? It's just like whatever. You don't call him anymore. Let's not make that happen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take it for granted. You're Allah. You don't want me to call him? I can call him anytime. I need that. I need that internal peace. If you need to strengthen that peace constantly, you need to be constantly in connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You unplug this from the power, that you unplug yourself from Allah, that everything else will happen. So the first one is that peace that will come and help you. That Iman that comes up. And I want you to ask yourself, what can you do to bring more of peace into it? By the Iman billah, by believing in Allah. So now, remember I said make the list of anxieties, right? Think about how the role of Iman can help you get rid of that anxiety internally. Think about it. What was on top of your list? How you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can help you not to be that stressed and anxious about it. Think about it. What can you do? You might not be able to change the external factors yet, but internally, how can you be in peace? Second, zikr of Allah. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Quran are the promises of Allah for human beings, to human beings. Allah promised, and Allah is astaqus sadiqeen. He will never ever lie or say anything that is not right. When He says something, it will happen. He said, once you remember me, that remembrance would calm your mind, your heart. You'll have peace and tranquility. The least thing that should have happened to Hazrat Zainab was the deepest depression in the entire human beings. The least things. 17 members of her family members. Most probably because of the hajm and the load of musibah, she should have been dead in the first night. Most people, they can't, gosh, something happened, passed away, they can't tolerate it anymore, they pass away. You might hear someone passed away, and then 2 days after that, they passed away, right? Stroke because of the emotional hit. 17 members of family with this. The least thing should be a deepest depression, anxiety problem. What helps her? Psychotherapy. External factors. We'll look at external factors. External factors are, they're in the caravan of Usara, right? From this street to another street, this insult, that insult, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What is it? From the palace of this Mal'un to the palace of another one to the palace of the external factors are horrible. Musibat after musibat. The Arba'in is coming, right? The peak of the musibat. But internally, the night of Ashura, Imam Sajjad said, she said her Salat al-Layl, she can't stand up to say it. Body doesn't have energy. She sat down, but she doesn't miss Salat. According to some tradition, Imam Hussein told him, "Oh sister, pray for me in the Salat al-Layl." What helps her? What is that internal factors that helps her? Tell me. Zikr, Iman. What helps Imam Hussein? That night, I just came to my mind. That night that he's asking for one more night for ibadat. One more night for more peace and tranquility. The more Imam Hussein he reads Quran, recite Quran, and dua, salat. Many people, I talk to them, anxiety, depression. So how do you calm yourself? Any strategies? Yeah, when it's so tough, I open Quran, I recite some ayat of Quran. I say some zikr. Random people. I say some zikr. I remember Ahlul Bayt. Bismillah. Does it help you? Yeah, it helps me calm down. It helps me calm down. And imagine more beliefs come into that. When I read Quran, it says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. The one who have tawakkul on Allah, Allah is enough for that person. وَيَرْزُقُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Allah would send him and provide for him from somewhere that person would not even imagine, would not even think about that route. Not from a route that you think about it yourself. When Allah helps us, well, I knew myself. Some people, when you help them, says, yeah, actually, I knew myself. I could do it myself. From somewhere that you can't even imagine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The internal factors, the internal peace, Iman, zikr of Allah. Zikr of Allah. Remembrance of Allah. Let's do this. Let's bring this challenge to ourselves. Let's try to every day, throughout the day, have some zikr of Allah. How about that? Throughout the day, let's have some zikr. Throughout the day, let's practice that. Throughout the day, try to, as many as you can, any name of Allah that you, actually, there was a nice way of looking at it, that any names of Allah that we have specifically might help more with that specific hajat that you have. If you're asking for shafa, for example, the zikr of Ya Shafi. Any other things, basically. Remembrance of Allah. That brings more. The third one, what I'll finish with this, is tawakkul ala Allah. Rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In reality, not on the paper, not what Sunday school is saying, not what Maulana is saying. No, in reality, think that there is no one else in this dunya that you can rely on. You want the end of this concept? Imam alayhi salam in Dua al-Kumal just recited. Ilahi wa Rabbi man li ghayruk. Amir al-Mu'minin, the second important person in this world after Rasulullah, he's saying, Ya Allah, there's no one for Ali except you. Man li ghayruk. There's no one else except you. To that level of power and authority in this world, he said, no, it's just you. Tawakkul Allah. I'll finish with this. Someone at night, it's a story, fell down from a building. He fell down, and once he was falling down, he said, Ya Allah, help me, Ya Allah, help me, be safe. All of a sudden, the back of his shirt or whatever, it started hanging over a piece of wood or iron or whatever it was hanging over the building. It was night, he couldn't see anything. So he started praying, Ya Allah, help me. I'm just, if I fell down, I would die. If I fell down, I would die. Help me, help me, help me, help me. Do something, bring something. Angel came to him and Allah said, cut your shirt. We will take you. We will take care of you. You will be safe. He said, are you crazy? I cut this, I'm going to fall down, I'm going to die. He started praying, please, Ya Allah, help me somehow. The cars come, someone comes and help me. He can't see anything. It was night. The angels come and say, Allah said, cut the shirts, cut that things that is hanging. We will take care of it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to die. I'm not going to do it. The third time Allah says no. It was cold. Out of fear and cold, the guy died. Imagine you're hanging over the prison and he's full and he died. Next day, when the people came in the morning, they were passing, they saw he was one step away from the ground. He thought he's in the middle of the, Allah says, cut you, I will take care of you. You're there, you already saved your life. Of course, he couldn't see anything. It's the life of us. Sometimes Allah says, I'll take care of you. Actually, if you do some way that, let me calculate it, let me see if that, He knows how to take care. The sad part, you know what it is? Sometimes we trust other human beings more than Allah. Let's go to the doctor. Doctors, please, you're the one that I have hope and everything. All right, sign that paper that anything happened to you is not my fault. Waive all your rights, everything. You're not going to sue anything. You waive your rights. It's right? You do it and everything else, and then you give your stomach, it says, Bismillah, and this is the knife. Got it. We trust the knowledge of that guy who can any second can make a mistake instead of this way and that way. How many times they did, right? They left the scissor in the stomach of the guy and then sewed it up. This is very sad what I'm saying, right? Sometimes we trust the mechanic more than, because you leave the car for the office, inshallah, next day I'll come and take it. You're relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows how to do it. He knows his job. Therefore, Iman, religion, Deen are not just for the masjid. They are for daily life to improve the quality of daily life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have peace in life, but inshallah that will bring that peace. The musibat is the biggest musibat, but the view that they have towards the musibat helps them to be able to tolerate this musibat. Brothers and sisters, we are very close to Arba'een of Husseini, 40 days after the Shahadat of Imam Hussein, 40 days that Zainab Salamun alayha and children didn't see their fathers and their brothers. These 40 days were not normal, regular days. They were 40 days of musibah, tragedy, 40 days of troubles, 40 days of seeing the head of their beloved ones in front of them, 40 days of humiliation, 40 days of being in prisons, being humiliated by people, by the authorities, by anyone around. 40 days that only one part of it is when Imam Sajjad said, Asham, 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 how people try to humiliate Ahlul Bayt. 40 days that when Ahlul Bayt, they entered Sham, people from the roof of their houses, they were throwing garbage and ash and, the fire over the head of Ahlul Bayt. In one occasion, they said a piece of fire went into the Amama of Imam Sajjad and he burned down and hurt the head of Imam. 40 days of trouble and musibat, but 40 days of the test of Zainab, 40 days of the peace and the Iman billah of Ahlul Bayt. Soon the caravan of Imam al-Hussein is towards the Karbala after 40 days. Different narrations, they can go back finally to see the grave of their beloved ones. Oh, Zainab Salamullah alayha should find the grave of her beloved brother Imam Hussein. Maybe, others, looking for their beloved, husbands and brothers and everyone. And I tell you that Rubab was looking for the grave of her son Ali Asghar. 40 days of troubles and musibat, and what happened to Ahlul Bayt and Caravan of Imam al-Hussein in these 40 days. Oh, Zainab, when she came back to Karbala, she told on the grave of Imam al-Hussein, if non-Mahram were not there, oh brother, I would have shown you my body, how many times they hurt me with their whips and taziana, they hurt me. I protected your children against these enemies. But if you ask, I would say there's only one thing that Zainab, she might be not feeling comfortable about this trip, is that now she was in charge of the children of Hussein. However, she left a 3-year-old Sakina or Ruqayya in Sham. She couldn't finish this mission of Imam that he gave him by living Sham, Sakina in Sham. Oh, Hussein, look at the heart of Zainab. Look what happened to this caravan. She knows that you are with her all the time. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. All together, inshallah. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين. One more time, inshallah, bring your hajat, inshallah, and ask Allah to help us have peace of iman in life. Assalamu ala al-Husayn. وعلى أولاد الحسين حسين ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين فسيعلم الذين ظلموا يوم ينقلبون. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناس ومد في أمره الشريف وزين الأرض بدخول بقائه واجعلنا من أحرامه وأنصاره وشيعته يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك بحق الحسين يا Allah. Hasten in the zuhur of our Imam Muhammad. Let us and our generation be strong and active in the path of the zuhur of our Imam. Allah Ya Rahman Rahim, let us have basirah and intuition in deen. Ya Allah, bring peace and tranquility to our lives. Any of brothers and sisters, Muslimin and Muslimat around the world that are under difficulties, provide opportunities for their freedom. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, my brothers and sisters who have hajat and requests, give them khair hajat. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, and those who are sick, perhaps Imam Sajjad, cure them all at this moment. And those who passed away, send the tabab and the vault, and now we gather to the soul, inshallah. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. بسم الله.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المرسلين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين، السلام عليك أيها الحسن المجتبى وإمام الهدى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. والسلام على 9 المعصومين من ولدك. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان الأمان يا قائم آل محمد. سيدي عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.